Capitol tonight. My next guest is having an I told you so moment, and it is not his style to say so himself, so I'm going to say it for him. State Conservative Party Chairman Mike Long took a lot of flack for his support of Rick Lazio during the GOP gubernatorial primary last year, refusing to join the State Republican Party Chairman Ed Cox in supporting Democrat-turned-Republican Suffolk County Executive Steve Levy in the race. The revelation last week that Levy has actually been under investigation for fundraising improprieties since the summer of 2009 forced the county executive to forgo seeking re-election this fall, and it actually proved that the Chairman Long that is, was right. Neither Long nor Cox got the candidate he wanted in the end. Carl Paladino saw to that, of course. But the Conservatives somehow managed to benefit from the Buffalo businessman's crash and burn campaign. Long, the longest-serving party leader in the state, is the ultimate political survivor, and he is joining me from New York City tonight. Welcome, Chairman. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Maybe I'll quit and I'll go home after that introduction. That's fine with me.
This is going to be the apex of your career right here, just right here. No, seriously.
It's all downhill now.
Seriously, though. I mean, in all seriousness, did you have any inkling at all about the fundraising probe that the Suffolk County DA was conducting of Steve Levy when you were entertaining him as a candidate?
Well, you know, before people were nominated, there were constant rumors afloat that there was some form of problems with pay-as-you-go. You know, donations for rewards.
Right.
But that's not how I made my decision. That's not why I made my decision. I certainly didn't have any real facts on it. Like I said, it was just rumors. I just really believed and still believe today that Rick Lazio would have made the best competitive race against Andrew Cuomo. But that's history. I can't prove that anymore. That's past history, and we just have to move forward from there.
Well, did you ask Steve Levy about it when you were interviewing him? Because you spoke to him a couple of times.
Yeah, no, I didn't. We didn't get into any of those. I think the rumors was bubbling, maybe even after I had interviewed him. If I had heard them before, I would have asked them about them. The main thing we talked about, whether he was going to run or not run. And in all fairness to him, he took one of the reasons I didn't wait for him. He was indecisive about whether he was going to run or not run, whether he was going to change to Republican or not. And that's ultimately how, and I felt that was taking the oxygen out of, certainly out of Lazio's campaign, and it was hurting his fundraising. And I just felt the time had come to close ranks around Rick Lazio, which I did, and move forward.
You know, though, it's certainly, look, you dodged a bullet, clearly, obviously, but this situation with Steve Levy speaks to something larger, which is the problem, generally speaking, with political fundraising and how dangerous it is of a situation. I mean, it's just clearly a problem, and campaign finance reform is something that people have been advocating, including Andrew Cuomo. Is that something that you would support, too?
No, absolutely not. Look, what you need is full transparency. And campaign finance laws are not going to solve the problem if a person is going to do something illegal. We have it here in New York City where, with the campaign public financing laws being financed by the taxpayers, people are making a business, running for office and making a business. They're hiring their own family, their friends, they're buying computers and all sorts of equipment. They fail in their primary bid for city council, and they go home with all sorts of rewards. I mean, it is not the way to go. We don't need taxpayers paying for politicians' campaigns. That is the worst. We need full disclosure, and we need people who are going to be honest about the system. There's always someone going to try to game the system. No matter what laws you pass, someone is going to try to game the system, and when they do that, they should be punished to the fullest.
Okay, I want to talk to you, switch gears, because obviously, as you write, you're correct, of course. It is history, what happened with Levy, and you made the right decision, and you're probably feeling pretty good, so that's good. But in terms of what's going on in Western New York right now, you did pick a candidate. You picked Jane Corwin, and you know, at first some people were suggesting that she wasn't conservative enough. This could be a redux of what happened in New York 23 with Didi Scazafava and Bill Owens and Doug Hoffman. You told me that she was plenty conservative enough for you. Now we see some Tea Partiers in the mix, and there's a big fight among the Tea Partiers. Are you worried about what's going on out in Western New York?
Well, you always have to be concerned in a special election, but Jane Kirwan clearly had the second highest voting record, conservative voter record in the New York State Assembly. I think she's the right candidate for the 26 CD. I think she makes an outstanding candidate. And look, Tea Party people are great people, but they're divided over their selection of candidates. But the Conservative Party is a political party. We have to make decisions, and you can't even compare this to the 23rd. Didi Scott-Savaza wasn't a moderate. She was clearly a liberal. She left the Republican Party, is working in the Democratic administration, as you know, and she had a voting record, I believe, if the number was right, if I have it, she had a 5. She rated a 5 amongst in our rating system, or 15 it was. I apologize, a 15 out of 100.
Yeah, don't bilk her out of those 10 points, there, Chairman.
No, I won't. There is no comparison in the two people. As I said, Jane Kirwan has the second highest voting record, conservative voter record, in the New York State Assembly. So there's no question. Okay. Candidates make accusations, try to put spin on saying that someone isn't a conservative. And, it sticks a little bit with the media picks it up, and you're fair to ask that question. But clearly she is a bona fide conservative. Okay, well, speaking of someone who's acting an awful lot like a conservative, Andrew Cuomo obviously is about to get a big budget win. We're still waiting for those finishing touches, of course. You had some very nice things to say about him right after the election. Obviously, he wasn't your candidate. Do you still feel like he's been doing a good job? I think this is a very good first step for the state of New York. If it passes as we read in the newspapers, as is, and if the caps work on education and the caps work on health care, and he certainly moved forward without raising taxes, he reduced the state spending. There's a lot more to do. This is only a beginning, Liz. Hopefully he can't stop here. If those caps work, my understanding is we're not going to have a $15 billion deficit. We're only going to have a $2 billion deficit.
That's what they say.
And that's where his real battle is going to really be. Next year is an election year, and our friends in the legislature are up for election, and they're going to want. They believe that the way to get elected is just keep spending the taxpayers' money. So he's going to have a real battle on his hand. He has to do a lot more work. We have to really change the structure of the state. We have to do pension reform, tort reform. We definitely need a cap on property taxes, and we certainly need a firm cap on spending
Chairman,
across the board.
Before I let you go here, I just want to ask you, now some people, and actually it's been bubbling along for a while now, are talking about Cuomo 16. Andrew Cuomo for president. What do you think about that?
Well, I think it's I think it's entirely too early, and I don't even think I'm not going to comment on it, and I don't even think the governor wants to comment on it because like I said, his real test is coming in the second and third year to see which way he takes the state. And my hope is that he continues to do exactly what he's doing when it comes to the economy, when it comes to the budget. He keeps moving in that direction. He will bring back businesses to New York. He will create jobs for the state of New York, and that's what we need here in the state of New York. Okay, well, thank you very much, Conservative Party Chairman Mike Long. I will ask you 2 or 3 years down the road what you think of a Cuomo in the White House, but until then, I'll let you off the hook. Okay. Thanks, Chairman.